Well, hello, and welcome back to the grind. I'm this week more on the 924. So, what did I do this week? A bunch of, well, first off, we'll start at the front here. I put a new water pump into it, and at the same time, I took apart this air pump here and rebuilt it. It's all it needed was one bearing, I think. That's all. One bearing was completely shot, so I put the new bearing into it, and they're pretty simple inside. So I, I don't have a belt for it yet, and I haven't started the motor yet, but it seems to be turns easy and it makes no noise, so that's good. Next along was I started working on some electrical stuff to get all the well, no, next along I got these things here off because I've got new parts for them coming that'll hopefully make it so the door stays shut. Hey, we'll just wait and see on that. Then lights. I got all the lights working. This light here was on permanently, and I figured out why. I had to take the switch apart in the front here, the light switch all apart, and figure out which wire went where. And so I got them sorted out. Found out why the panel lights weren't working, and it was in the dimmer switch there just doesn't work. So I bypassed that, so it's full panel lights at forever, which is okay with me because I always have them at high. Then I checked out all the lights, all the blinker lights, all the brake lights, every light works. And I cleaned off a bunch of contacts, fixed all these side lights here. Like side light. So one side light was working, or one marker light, and it was the one on the far side. I haven't even looked at that. But this one was not working, and it was mostly just bad connections. So I cleaned it all up, and I need a light bulb in this license plate thing. One of them's good, the other one is burnt out, broken lights. Well, my fault, I broke it. Anyway, but that's fairly normal. So that's what's coming along this week. Stick around and you can see everything that happened. And it's Friday afternoon, so time to go and put together a movie for you guys. So I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome back, and back for another episode of Porsche 924. So, 1979 Porsche 924. Now, yesterday when I was out driving, and you saw that those things came up halfway, and that's where they stopped. So what I'll do now today, I think I'll take this apparatus off of it and leave that until I'm not going to do anything with that until such time as I get the that being the warm-up regulator, until I get the new rebuild kit for it. Then I'll take it apart again and we'll go through the whole thing again. But I think I've got it down kind of right here. So I've got the idle speed set right. I've got this button down here set right. So if I get that thing right, it all should be okay. That's the plan. And then this week I'll take apart take the water pump off it and put a new water pump on, and new pipes for down below there, stuff like that needs doing. Yeah, so how come the headlights only come off halfway? This wire here, this thing here, that's the controller for, underneath the dash you pull and the trunk opens, or the lid opens here, we hope. Anyhow, this was getting caught right in, just got jammed in there. Routed poorly because I routed it poorly. Anyhow, same old thing, public enemy number one, does it again. So they seem to work all right now. I'll just show you. But the one thing they do, they kick on the fuel pump when you operate them. I don't know why. So there must be a wiring thing somewhere. Oh no, there's, well, yeah, see the fuel pump kicks. Don't know why. Don't know why, don't know why, don't know why. Don't know why. Okay. Anyway, let that be for now. I won't worry about that part yet till I get into wiring, which is coming one of these days soon. First thing today is water pump, I think. Work about getting that off. To get the water pump off now, here's the water pump. And you take off the belt for the alternator. I think that you have to take off some of these things up here that hold the alternator. Yeah. And then have to take off this timing belt. Just loosen that, and well, you put this up to top dead center and then loosen that, and then the belt will come off pretty easily. And you just take it, and then I might have to take off, I think I can sort of tie that belt up out of the way over here. We'll just see, because there's a bunch of hoses coming off, so it might be just as well to get that belt right out of the way. Take the belt off on the air conditioning unit, and also on this here, which doesn't have a belt. Hey, anyway, I'll carry on. Yeah, so here's the bits I have. This is a new water pump. I think that's the upper rad hose. It'll have to be cut to fit because it fits onto a metal hose. This one here is the lower rad hose. I think it'll fit. I'll check it out when I pull out the old one. It goes down there. This one here I thought I had bought, but it doesn't. I don't have it because it came with just a little hose. I don't know what for. I think it goes right on there. Then, so I'll start taking this apart. First off is get the belts off. Okay. Yeah, now I've drained the fluid. I removed the bottom hose here. Pretty easy, just a clamp there and a clamp there. Then I took this belt off of here. I took the belt off of the air conditioner, and that this belt here goes over to the water pump, which I guess I can turn it around a few times and get press the water out of that too. Which moves pretty easy. It says in the book that sometimes a little bit of extra water just comes out of the damn things, like there's along the shaft. But I'm in here now, so I might as well put the new one in. I have a new one there. So I gotta get the timing belt off it next. Yeah, so timing belt, you've seen me do this before. That's the timing mark 3 degrees. The little knot, the little mark in here is right between those two highs there. And that lines up with here. Then down below, there's a notch. The top little dot there, the very first one, that's where the notch is. And that's where it lines up with right there at that point. So the other one is like 3 degrees advance or something like that. And then you just loosen this here, and that allows the tension off the belt. Yeah, now here's the water pump. Actually, it feels like it needs new. This is the bracket for the alternator. There, the water pump's falling out of it now. And water is falling in the wrong place. There we go. Yeah, this is the bracket for the alternator right here, and it sort of slides in like that. I just loosened it off so the alternator is sitting pretty loose there. Now, I have to undo that hose and undo that hose, and then the thing will fall out of there, I think. Different size screws, like these are the 10mm tops, and there's long, short from the top down. And then these two screws here, or these two bolts here, hold the alternator bracket on, and the longest one goes to the bottom. So keep that straight in your mind when you're trying to put it back together, right? So I'll see if I can get this off of here, those two screws out of there, and get those hoses out of there. Yeah, there now. I've got new hose for here. This is off. And then no new hose for this one here. I'll see if I can find a piece of hose here that'll fit that. It's, it's molded, and that goes on right here and goes to the thermostat, which is the next. So I had a little bit more involved here, eh? So I lifted this up out of the way, just undid the bolts holding that, and lifted that up out of the way. Then the air pump was in the way, so I took that and lifted it up out of the way, or took it right out. I'll take it apart. And here's the, this is what goes to the heater back here. That line's fairly corroded, but I guess it's okay. I'll have to get that cleaned off. I'll just take some emery cloth or Scotch pad and see if I can clean that off on the outside. And the inside stuff, I don't know what's going on there. I'll just see what I can do about scraping that stuff out of there. Yucky. Then the water pump goes on right here, and it looks like it just came off clean, so I'll be able to put a bit of gasket goop on it, clean that up, and put the water pump back onto it. Yay. So that's, there's a better light there. And it doesn't look too ooky gooky in there, so that's alright. The only thing that's ucky is this bit in here. Can you see back there? Back in there, that's the pipe going to the heater is ucky because it's always not moving any water, I don't think, or not moving much water. Anyway, there we go. So I have a new radiator, what do you call this thing? Thermostat? Yeah, I have this new thermostat for it also. And here's the cap, or the thermostat cover. So everything is sufficiently apart now. I've got a new hose to go across here. While I'm in here, I'm going to fix up this wiring spider mess there that goes to the air conditioning unit. So I think what I'll do is amalgamate those wires into one connector and then put them on there. We'll see what I can figure out. Then this thing here is clean. For a 40-year-old car, it's clean. But somebody had it apart before, and this side here was stripped out, and they put a nut underneath the bottom of it to hold it. So I guess a guy could do that on both sides of it if they had to. But so far it's all right. The other side's still good. I think they over tightened it. You don't have to tighten them too much because there's a rubber seal in here, eh? So anyway, we'll just carry on, and I think it's starting to. I did find a piece of hose big enough for this here, so that's good. It'll get new hose there. I didn't get a hose for here, but this one here looks okay. I don't think there's a big problem with that hose. Anyway, start putting it back together now. Yeah, so here I am now back at it. So thermostat goes in there, and the hoses hook on underneath here, and the hose hooks on over there. That's for that. The air pump, once I get the water pump and everything back on, I'll have a look at that air pump and just see if I can clean it up a bit. Maybe I'll make it work, maybe not. Then I'll put this all together again now, starting with the new water pump and the gasket. So I'll just put, like I use this, this is from Rusty Beauties. Rusty Beauties, he turned me on to this stuff. Permatex Aviation Forma gaskets. And it's actually, like, it's pretty good stuff. I figure if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. It works well on most things. Does not work in the fuel in here. Don't use it there. Okay. Anyhow, I'll just get this thing set to go here. Move some of my debris out of the way and put the water pump in, then I'll worry about the rest of this stuff. Yeah, there, that's all set to go. Now this, I'm not really sure what angle it should be turned to. Maybe I can loosen that a bit. And this one here, I've got them on here, and I got this one tightened on. That one I have to loosen a bit. Then I put this gasket on, and gasket maker, gasket maker, gasket maker on all four sides. And then to hold it in place, I've just got, like, I don't know if you can see that, I've just put a thread there and a thread there, and that'll hold it from sliding around on me. Whilst I try and get it back on here, which I've got gasket goop over there, but down at the bottom, a little bit wet down there still, so I don't know how well the gasket goop will hold there, but should be lots of it on here. Anyhow, I'll slide it in there and see if I can get it to come together. There now, these are torqued to just 16 foot-pounds, which is fairly light. These ones here are torqued to just 6 foot-pounds, which is, I don't have a foot-pounds thing for that small, but I have an inch-pounds thing for that small. So it'll be 72 inch-pounds, which is what I turn them around to. And that's the way it should be right there. So it seems to be all okay. Everything's there. Okay, now this is new. I had to use the original one for here because I couldn't get what it needs molded. It has to have that curve in it or else it just won't go on. And the other hose is just a little bit too thick for that application there too. Anyhow, that's fine. It'll be fine. The what's next? Next is getting the rear hose on and the top hose on, fixing these wires. Okay. Yeah, so there's bottom hose on. Now it fits right there, but when it comes to you it says cut to fit. So you have to take about an inch off of this end. I'll just show you. Wonder where it is. Yeah, 1.5 inches off of that end here to make it so it's the right length, because it comes too long. Same with the upper hose. It says cut to fit, and you can see right here. Here's where it goes, and got to take about that much off of it to make it fit into there. But then I have that piece of hose left over for something. That's okay. Yeah, there now I cleaned up the electrical connections here a bit. These two here go together, and I clamped and soldered, and then clamped and soldered, and then I just put a new end piece on here. I should do the same up here because this is all pretty yucky, but we can get to that later, I think. Oh, excuse me. Anyhow, now I'll see about getting the hose on top of here and over to there. But first I gotta take it off of there, and it's pretty near quitting time today anyhow, so we'll just I'll get the hose off of here and then I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Yeah, there now, that's the original hose here, new hose here, new hose down there at the bottom, original hose here that goes to this tank, and original hose, or no, new hose here that goes to there. Then I rewired this stuff here so it'll be a bit better. Might make connection. I should fix those ones up there too. Then rerouted this thing here so it's not going to get into, whoops, won't get involved with that there again. And then this clippy thing here will hold it over from that, so that'll be good. Now I'm going to take a look at this air pump thing and see if there's anything to be done about it. Well, now here's the problem on the air pump. So here's the constituent pieces, right? They're pretty simple inside. They just, nothing to them. But the this bearing here, which just goes right in there, is kapooey. So I'll see if I can get another bearing to fit that. And then at the back side, where is that? Don't know. There's another bearing at the back side, right in here in this thing. Now, I might want to see if I can get a new one of them. That one there is likely cleanable and packable because it doesn't look bad. And it doesn't feel bad. So, I might just pack some grease into that, clean it up and pack some grease into it, and then go from there. Or if I can get a new one, I'll get a new one. I'll check it out with the guys in town. Anyhow, there's a guys in town that have bearings. And that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I showed you all this, hey? I got that all installed then and the wires fixed there. And that thing fixed, right? So now I was able to, at the bearing store in town, they had the right bearing, which is this one right here. And then this bearing here is, they gave me the number for it, SCE 188. It's an ING bearing, and there's one of them down sitting in Tennessee somewhere. So this one here I think is okay, and I'll see if I can clean it up and reuse it. It sits on that little race right there, which looks very clean. So I think I can get it all back together. I'll clean this up, and then we'll this thing here I'll likely just throw in the vibrator cleaner, make some noise, get that cleaned up. And then there's these other pieces here, which are, there's this piece here which needs to be cleaned, right? Then there's these little things here which are, they have little bearings in there too, and they're just like needle bearings. Flies. Needle bearings in there. So I'll clean up all this stuff too, and then see if I can get it back together properly. That'll be the challenge. Yeah, there, that bearing, I just pressed that in on my little press here. That went in easy. Now I think I have to press this into there, but at first I have to put the circlip on there, so I'll do that. Hang on. Yeah, there, that's all. Wait a second till I show you here. Okay, that's the piece that holds it in there, and it's pressed on, and then the pulley goes on after now. But for now, I'll just stick it in like this. And now the pieces that go in here all get sorted out somehow or other. That'll be an interesting thing. Yeah, there now, there's a little, what do you call it, a fiber washer underneath here. Then this plate goes on. It only goes on one way, like there's 4 bolts, but it'll only go on one way. You got to keep turning it around till you find the right way. Then I put this drill down in here just to keep these, all those bearings in there lined up whilst I was doing that. And now this part here goes on, and it's like it's an off-center thing. That's how the pump works. This is off-center, and it makes it go round and round like that. So I'll put a bit of grease on there, and then I'll put a bit of grease around here, and then see if I can get it on there. Yeah, now I'll just finish putting the bolts in, and that seems to be okay. Who knows? We'll find out when it starts running. I'll show you as soon as I get the bolts in how it turns. Yeah, there it is all together, and turns this way. Turns backwards too, but they've got a little like the off-center thing here that makes this makes the little leaves come out, and they're not much. I'm pretty sure it's not a high pressure pump. It's just a little bit extra air pushing through to help with the emissions. Anyhow, seems to work all right, and I think it's fine to put it on and put a belt on it and see if it goes. So there, I think that everything is in here is fixed now, more or less. Yeah, well, more or less. Got to put the timing belt back on. Got to put all. Well, I have to put the whatever you call that. What do you call that? Pulley. I have to put the pulley on there. Good idea, Lauren. Here it is, right here. Oops. And that spacer goes behind it. Okay, so I'll put the pulley on and then start putting things back together. Yeah, there I've got the pulley on there now, right? And just 3 bolts, and there's a spacer in behind it so it lines up properly with the alternator, which has a good bit of a twist to it at the best of days. Anyway, but that's one of these days maybe I'll have to get a new alternator, but we'll just see. So now I'll put the timing belt on, and so this mark up here, which is right in the middle of these 2 things here, in between those 2, lines up with that white. This notch, there's a white there's a notch on that white, and it lines up with that white there. And then the timing belt goes on over there. So I don't have a cover for it, and I'll have to get, I think you can get one online somewhere. I'll just look into that after. So I'll get that on now, and then I'll put the tensioner on and tighten it up. Yeah, so here, let's just see how this works out. Yeah, you saw me struggling away trying to get that tightened up, but there it's tight. So they say in the instructions that you tighten it, tension it until it, till you can just turn it 90 degrees like that, so and it feels right. So I think it's right. Anyhow, it's on, and that timing mark is on the right spot, and that timing mark's on the right spot. So you have to tension this side of the belt, make sure you get it into the cogs so that it's tensioned on that side of the belt, and then it'll pull tension from that side of the belt and be in the right place, if that makes any sense. Now I'll see if I can get some belts onto this system here. Well, first I got to put my air pump in because it gets the very first belt way back there. Yeah, there, that's installed. I have to put that hose clamp on here. That's installed, and that's right. The well, we hope it's right. Water pump turns, the air pump turns, doesn't make any noise, and I guess it makes the noise it's supposed to make. And now that's enough for today. Who knew that changing the water pump would be a week-long ordeal in this thing? But I guess everything is. Anyhow, there's water pump changed, air pump fixed. I hope it's fixed anyhow. I think I have it together right. And I have to get a belt for it. I don't have a belt on hand that fits it. So anyhow, I'll see you tomorrow. That's enough for today. Yeah, okay, here I am, back again. So yesterday, water pump is completely installed, yay, and all the piping is in place. So I'll put this all back together where it's supposed to be, instead of being held up by a 2x4, or in this case a 2x6 or 2x8, whatever that is, and have it ready to run as soon as I get some belts on it. So these belts like that, I have the belt for the alternator, and I have a belt that fits on the air conditioning unit, but I don't have a belt to go from in there up to this thing here, which I'm pretty sure is pretty good there now. And so I'll put all the everything together again, and then when I get the belts, which are ordered, I'll well, I'm going to get that belt which is ordered. It has to go on first, then I'll put it on. If I could just put this alternator belt on here, then I can run the car, because it really doesn't matter if the doesn't matter at all if the air conditioning belt's on, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't work anyhow. So perhaps I'll do that. I'll put the alternator belt on, tighten it up, and then I can run the car, and I'll put all this other stuff together. And I'm expecting the rebuild kit for that someday. And these other parts, they just will come at the Canada Post discretion, right? Or whoever's delivering today. So next, after that, I'll get that done, and I've got new brake hoses. I just have to find where I put them in a safe place. Wonder where that is. And I'll put new brake hoses on the front. And I also ordered up a set of, what do you call that? Rebuild kit for the brake calipers on the front. So perhaps I'll wait on that. So maybe I'll finish this, then I'll go after some of the electricals and just see what's going on with electrical, because since I rehooked everything up, this light has been on and I don't know how to turn it off. And I was able to order new bits to hold this window down also, so they're on the way. Anyway, that's all coming soon to a grinder near you. Okay, so I'll put the belt on, I'll put this stuff back together, and I'll come back and show you how it is. Yeah, so the hose here, if you push it on all the way up to that stop there, you can see that sort of stop thing, then it'll rub on here. So you got to pull it down a bit so to make sure it doesn't rub. Give it clearance there when the belt's tight. The belt's reasonably tight. So there, that's interesting. I wonder why that is doing that. That seal's coming off there. I guess that's something to check into on that. What the hell? It's supposed to be just rubber covering that. Shouldn't be open, hey? Like the something missing there. Oh, that'll be later. Anyhow, little things, hey? Little things. Yeah, now next dilemma, when I put this back together here, this metal here is pressing down on that pipe, which it shouldn't be. So I think what's gone on is that somebody in the past decided these rubber things would go here well, and they actually should be over here. It'll come in the same height, but it'll lift that metal bracket above, and the same over there. So I need another whatever you call that thing, another rubber thing. Oh, okay, well, that's what I'll do next now. Yeah, it only took forever to get the airbox back onto it, but this thing, it just doesn't fit the same after you put new hoses on. I don't know why. I didn't change anything. But anyhow, it's all on now and tight. Now this water bucket goes on here, and I'll get some of this stuff here in the right place. One of these days I'll be able to take it outside and give it a good hosing in there. That's, well, later. But for now, I'll just keep on putting it back together again, and then we'll go on to the next step. Yeah, that hose is on, goes to the top of the rad. The top rad hose is on. This little hose that I thought, when I ordered it, I thought it was this one, but apparently not. And so it's just the drain hose out of there, so I put that on. Bottom hose is on. Clearance on the belt is good. Clearance, everything else is good. So now I'll put together this other stuff here for the carburation, or the fuel injection stuff. Yeah, so I figured I better, before I got too far along, I was putting this on and everything on, figured I better just put the fluid back in it and see if anything comes pouring out of it. So far nothing. Yeah, no, it's dry down there, so that must be okay. So I did over here on this top rad hose, there's this little thing here as a vent, and this goes into it. I don't know if that's actually right or not, but it's in there. So I'll screw that in there again, and then tighten it down and be okay. So that's when you take that vent out, it makes it easy to fill up it doesn't get air traps anywhere. I guess that's what I'm saying, eh? And it's up to the prescribed height there. I imagine when I run it a bit, it'll go down a bit and I'll put a bit more in. Yeah, so now that's all. Everything's back in. The knee bone is connected to the hip bone, and is connected to the fuel distributor, is connected to the everything else. So that should be okay. Now I put a new vacuum hose here. It goes to the back of this. Like it's got a double whammy thing on there. Don't know why, but that's the way it is. Anyhow, I put that on so that, because every time I touched this particular hose, it would break. Now these ones here, I haven't touched them very hard, so they haven't broken. Because I have enough to do some repairs, but I don't have enough to do all the repairs. Like here it is. Here I've got maybe 8 feet of it. I'll order up some more, and one of these days I'll do them all because they all likely need doing. Anyhow, that's okay. And now everything under here should be all right. These wires should be down out of the way here instead of up into the trunk. And I've got this piece of wire hanging around there. Don't know what that's for. I was using it for something. Oh yeah, I was using it for holding up wires. Eh? Okay, now that's pretty well done. I think I'll take a look at some of the wiring and see if I can figure out what makes what work. Yeah, there, parking lights are on, so that light is not on, right? This light is on. That light's on. That light's on. And the back is that light and that light. But this side marker light and the side marker light on this side here. The license plate light is on forever. I don't know. So I've got that in the wrong spot somewhere. But I can figure that out. I think I know where that problem lies. So now I'll just see what I can do about light switches on. I'll see what I can do about lifting it up and just see what's wrong. It's likely a bulb here. If it's bulbs, that's easy. I'll change bulbs. Hang on. Yeah, so it looks like this marker light's just held on by these two white things. Then it pushes out along with all the rubber and everything, I hope. We'll just find out here in a minute. Yeah, it all comes apart pretty quick and easy. Like there's where it fits in there. Now I think I just have to clean that up a bit because I bet you it's just dirty. This looks pretty dirty. I'll test this light bulb and see if it works. And I'll bet you it does. Somebody painted in there, eh? There, I cleaned up the contacts some, and I cleaned up the bulb a lot. I took most of the paint off it. So that seems to be that working. Now, sometime down the road I'll take these all out and really give them a good shining. I don't know how to yet. I'll think about it. But let's see if I can get the back ones to work. And like I might need a new. Well, I guess that's all right. What the hell, eh? Yeah, there's a good start. That one there is working. So all the front lights work now, as far as I can tell. That's a good start. I'll go back to the back here and see what I can do. I got to let it down a bit and have to reach into it to get there. Yeah, there we go. That one works. That one works. That one works. That one works. Yay. So there was only, this one here was actually a burnt out bulb. The others were just bad connections on the bulbs. That one works. That one works. That one works. That one works. So all the parking lights work. Headlights work sort of. I think one of them doesn't work. One of them, the high beam, doesn't work or something. I'll have a look into that. But I'm going to get new headlights for it, same as what I had for the same as what I have on the Volkswagen van, LED stuff. Now the next thing I'm going to do is try and get that hinge thing apart here. Next thing is to get the license plate light working on both sides, and then I'll go after this thing here. Okay. Yeah, so there now, this one here, so I switched side. This one works and this one doesn't now because I dropped the ball and smashed it and it broke it. But all the other lights work, so now I'm happy with that. I'll go ahead and see if I can get that thing off of there, if I can, without breaking the window, hey? Yeah, good news, I got it out without breaking the window, yay. That's, and this thing here, like it's just needs to be there. I've got a new rubber part coming for it here, and a new thing for this. See if that'll help it. And here's the screw that came out of it. Likely the screw is okay. I'll just put a slot in it instead of having it a Phillips. Okay. Yeah, that's enough for today. Anyhow, so little things, you know, the lights are all working now. I think most of them. Wait till I check out. No, I won't do it yet. I'll order up some new headlights for it, and then we'll put them in and worry about it then. Because the blinker lights work, I think the brake lights worked. I'll check all those things here. That'll be a tomorrow thing, because it's time for supper now, eh? So yeah, that's me. I'll see you all tomorrow sometime, I hope. See you then, bye. Yep, here I am. It's back on the Porsche, right? And I've got the back window apart. I think I showed you that. And these bits. Oh, sorry. You don't need to look at my forehead. These bits out of it. And I've got new of those coming, and I think I've got new of these things here coming. So I'll just wait till they show up before I do anything about that. Now, lights are working now. I've got all the parking lights working. I think the brake lights and everything like that works. I haven't checked the brake lights. So, but the license plate light is on permanently. So I've got something wired wrong, and also I don't get any dashboard lights to come on. So I'm gonna chase down that today and see if I can study up the wiring diagram enough to figure it out, right? Wiring diagrams. And they're a real joy to read. Anyhow, I'll see what I can figure out. Oh, there you go. There's 2 hours of my life gone by. But see this? The tail light, or the license plate light, is off now. Yay. So I found out which wire that was causing that grief. Then I also went through all the wires on the back of, see if I can get some light here so you can see. All the wires on the back of this, here's this switch for the headlights. So these two wires here used to go to this, what they call a potentiometer, which is this little dial thing, but that potentiometer has got no potential left in it at all. It just doesn't work. So what I did was they're for the dash lights. So what I did is just tied them together and made it so when this goes on, there, that's got dashboard lights there now. I don't know, can you see that? All the lights in behind the instruments light up. Yay. Then also that light there comes on. This there's a little light in behind here that comes on. I think maybe it comes on when the key is on, I'm not sure. Let's see what happens here. I think it's on there now. Can't tell sometimes. It was on a few minutes ago, but maybe it's not on now. Oh yeah, there. Yeah, you can see a little bit of light in there. So it illuminates this thing here at nighttime. You can't see it right now, but at nighttime it's on. Then, okay, so then all the headlights are on, okay? And you get high beams, if you see on the wall there, and low beams, high beams, low beams. High beam, the little switch here, the little blue light on the dash is on. off. That's good. Then, so that's all the lights are on, plus all of these lights here, like the side light there, right? Parking light, license plate light. I need a new light bulb for that one, but it will work when I do it. Parking light, or marker light, parking light. These here. Now I did notice I'm missing the whatever you call that goes around a headlight. This plastic stuff. So I'll have to see if I can find some of that somewhere. It's not in the car, that's for sure. Then now I'll just check out some blinker lights. See if I get blinker lights. I hear something clicking there, so look at that. Blinker light. And blinker light. Yay. Then if we go up here and try the other blinker light. Yeah, blinker light. Up there. Such a long walk around the damn thing, eh? I'm gonna close that before I have 52 pickup there. And blinker light here. Good. Those all work. Now, what else I have to get working is brake lights. I don't know, you might have to tell me if they work. I'll just turn off the overhead lights and see if I can, when I hit the brake lights, whether we get any illumination over there. Oh boy, that's easier said than done, Lauren. Yep. Okay. There. Now you tell me if the lights come on or not. Oh. Looks like. Okay, brake lights work, just not all of them. There we go. So I'll just check into that. Another back wall test and see if they actually come on. See what comes on. The parking lights are working, right? Both sides. And now brakes. I think that works. I think that's got both sides. Yay. Anyway, that's good enough for now. Yeah, so all the lights work except for the reverse lights. Now, I think that pretty well covers it for this week. Hey, it's Friday afternoon and things have gone along pretty well. What did I get done? It took a long time to get that water pump changed, and then I started checking some electrical stuff, and I think I got the headlights all working okay. Got to watch out for this mechanism here that you don't get any of these wires and stuff into it. I'm always getting something into it. So now, next thing to do is I've got a new timing light. So next week I'll start working on the motor and getting it tuned up, I hope. There's should be some parts coming sometime. So I'll just sort of wait for them before I do anything else drastic here. So I think we're okay for this week. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed it all, and please remember to like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And here's a little bit of drone footage that I did around down to the beach and back again that you can have a look at the end here. You might enjoy it. Okay, that's all for this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.